Do you ever feel like your emotions are controlling your life? Maybe anger seems to pop up unexpectedly, anxiety holds you back, or sadness lingers for far too long. It can be exhausting, right? And when you don't know how to deal with these feelings, it often feels like you're stuck in a cycle. But what if I told you that the key to overcoming this struggle is already within you? What if your emotions weren't the problem at all, but the key to your personal growth and success? Well, stay tuned, because in this video, we're going to unlock emotional freedom and show you how to turn your feelings into your superpower. Hey there, welcome to Wise Valley, the place where we explore powerful strategies for self-development, personal growth, and unlocking your true potential. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community. Now, in today's video, we're diving deep into the world of emotions, what they mean, why they overwhelm us, and how you can actually harness their power to live a more balanced, focused, and successful life. Emotions are not the enemy. In fact, they're your greatest ally, once you know how to use them. First, let's explore why emotions can feel so overwhelming and difficult to handle. It's not just you. Many of us struggle with emotional control for various reasons. To understand why emotions can feel so hard to navigate, we need to look at three main factors: emotional, psychological, and environmental. 1. Emotional factors. Growing up, many of us weren't taught how to deal with our feelings. Often we're told to get over it or don't be so sensitive, which teaches us to ignore or suppress emotions. Over time, this leads to confusion, frustration, and a feeling of disconnection from ourselves. Instead of acknowledging emotions, we bottle them up or let them control us in ways that we don't understand. 2. Psychological factors. On a deeper level, emotions are linked to how our brain processes experiences. Fear, anger, and sadness are hardwired into our brain as protective mechanisms. In the past, these emotions would alert us to physical danger. But today, we experience these emotions in response to things like stress at work, relationship issues, or unmet expectations. Our brain hasn't caught up with modern-day stressors, and without the proper emotional regulation tools, we react instead of responding thoughtfully. 3. Environmental factors. Finally, the environment around us contributes significantly to our emotional well-being. We live in a fast-paced, high-pressure world that prioritizes achievement over self-care. Social media sets unrealistic standards, while societal expectations encourage us to constantly be on and perform at our best. All of this can lead to a sense of emotional overwhelm, as we try to meet everyone's expectations but our own. When these three factors collide, it's no wonder we feel like emotions are running the show. But there's a solution. Emotions don't have to be overwhelming or controlling. In fact, with the right mindset and tools, they can be powerful signals that help guide us. Here's the key shift you need to make. Emotions are not your enemies. They're signals. They are your body and mind's way of telling you when something needs attention. Imagine your emotions as a dashboard in a car. Each light or signal tells you that something needs fixing. You don't ignore the warning light for oil, right? You check it and respond accordingly. Let's look at a few examples of how emotions function as signals. Anger. This often masks deeper feelings like frustration or hurt. It's a signal that something in your life is out of alignment or that a boundary has been crossed. Anxiety. Instead of viewing it as a problem, see it as a sign that your brain is processing something unfamiliar or uncertain. It's a signal to slow down, breathe, and figure out the next step. Sadness. Sadness isn't just a negative emotion. It's a signal to reflect, let go of something, or take a break. It's often a call for rest, self-compassion, or healing. Guilt or shame. These emotions often indicate a mismatch between our actions and our values. It's an opportunity to reflect on how we can align our behaviors with our values more closely. The moment you start seeing emotions as signals rather than problems, you're no longer at their mercy. You can respond mindfully and thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. Now let's get to the actionable steps you can take to turn your emotions into your superpower. Here are 5 practical strategies to help you start using your emotions as valuable tools in your life. Step 1. Pause and acknowledge. The first step is to pause. When an emotion hits, instead of immediately reacting, take a deep breath and acknowledge the emotion. Say it out loud or write it down. For example, I'm feeling anxious about this meeting. I'm really frustrated with this situation. I feel sad because I miss my family. By labeling the emotion, you create space between you and the feeling. This gives you the clarity to choose how to respond. Step 2. Identify the underlying cause. Once you've acknowledged the emotion, dig deeper to understand why you're feeling this way. Emotions are often layered, so it's important to peel back the layers. Ask yourself, what triggered this feeling? Is it related to something in the past? Or is it about the present moment? Is there something I need to address, like a boundary or unmet need? For example, if you're feeling angry, it might be because a colleague crossed a line at work. Digging deeper helps you pinpoint the root cause and allows you to deal with it more effectively. Step 3. Respond, don't react. This is where emotional freedom truly begins. Once you understand the emotion and its cause, choose a response that aligns with your values and goals. This takes practice, but it's incredibly empowering. For example, if you're feeling anxious before a presentation, instead of panicking, you could use deep breathing exercises to calm yourself and focus on preparing. If you're angry because someone was rude, instead of lashing out, you could calmly express your feelings and set a boundary. This proactive response helps you take control of your emotions instead of letting them control you. Step 4. Develop emotional regulation tools. Now that you've learned to pause, acknowledge and respond, it's time to build emotional regulation tools. Here are a few to add to your toolkit. Journaling. Write about your feelings to gain clarity. Journaling is a great way to process emotions and reflect on your thoughts. Mindfulness or meditation. Practicing mindfulness helps you stay present, allowing you to observe your emotions without getting swept away by them. Breathing exercises. When emotions rise, slow, deep breaths can help you ground yourself. Try inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4, and exhaling for 4. Physical activity. Moving your body, whether it's yoga, walking, or dancing, can help release tension and shift your mood. Step 5. Reframe your mindset. Finally, it's important to reframe how you see emotions. Instead of seeing them as a burden, start viewing them as opportunities for growth. When you're anxious, think, this feeling is here to help me prepare. When you're sad, think, this sadness is a sign that I need rest and care. When you're angry, think, this anger is helping me identify what needs to change. Reframing shifts your perspective from being a victim of your emotions to being an empowered creator of your emotional experience. Let's take a quick example of someone who's used these steps successfully. Meet Sarah, a working professional who used to be constantly overwhelmed by anxiety before presentations. She would freeze up, stutter, and feel like she wasn't good enough. But after learning how to identify her emotions as signals, she started pausing before her meetings. She'd take a few deep breaths, acknowledge her anxiety, and reframe it as excitement. By understanding the root cause, fear of failure, she was able to prepare thoroughly and focus on delivering value rather than being paralyzed by fear. Over time, she felt more confident and in control. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You've just learned how to transform your emotions into your superpower. Remember, emotions are not the enemy. They're tools that, when understood and harnessed, can guide you towards a more balanced, empowered, and successful life. So take a deep breath, acknowledge what you're feeling, and start using them as your guide.